Good evening, everybody. Hello, and welcome to our weekly top 10 makeover class. And it's such a privilege for me to welcome you to our class. My name is Marty Kruger, and I'll share a little bit about myself and Dr. Danelle in a minute. But before we share about ourselves, we would love to know a little bit about you. Number one, your name in the chat box, where you are joining us from. And maybe any question that you've got, your question that you want to know about maybe oils that you've got or oils that you would love to know more about. So let's see.
Yes, hello, welcome everybody. Liesl, I'm going to make you a co-host to kind of help us out here. Um, all right, so I'm Dr. Danielle, and this is actually one of my favorite classes to teach. It's just an introduction. There are like 3,000 oils on plants, and about 300 essential oils in the market that you can purchase. So it can be overwhelming. It's like going to shop for an herb to do something for you, just not 100% sure. So it's really nice to just get the foundational oils, which are just, we've limited down to 10. And these 10 are so versatile. You can use them from anything that you really deal with on a daily basis. And so that's a little bit about what we're going to teach today. And my background is in mental health. I'm a doctor of psychology, and I started utilizing oils for mental health. And that's what really drew me into learning more. And like I said, I teach a lot about mental health, but still these top 10 are my daily go-to, no matter, when I travel and what's going on with me. So I've actually done research on post-traumatic stress disorder and aromatherapy, and specifically one oil that I found helped a lot on PTSD, but stay tuned because I'm going to tell you a little bit about that oil and that study at the very end of this class. So I am just so privileged to be able to teach this class with Marty Kruger, who is one of the top leaders in South Africa who is bringing essential oil medicine to the homes. I stay in Hawaii, but I've been privileged to travel with Marty here in America as well in South Africa. And so I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little more, Marty.
Hi, thanks, Dr. Danelle. And it's always such a privilege to be able to share with Dr. Danelle. This has become one of my biggest passions to share with you and anybody that wants to or that doesn't even want to know about oils, right? About these oils because they are so life-changing. I did not grow up holistic. I didn't use essential oils or anything natural in my home. I wish I knew this when my big boys were babies. But today, this is such a huge part of my life, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to share one story quickly. A customer came to collect some oils today, well, a wellness certificate, and she was sharing a story, and she said her young daughter was sitting in the back, and she was talking to somebody about oils, and her daughter said, "My mom is a doctor." and and we laughed about it, but I absolutely love that story because although yes, we are not doctors. Dr. Danelle is a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to be a medical professional, but in your own home you become this person who actually proactively is helping not just yourself but everybody around you with these oils. And I just love that young child could see mom is helping someone.
That's so cute. And it's so true. I mean, really, you as a parent or an auntie or whatever it is, you really do have that insight for what's going on with people too, and nothing can replace that. So we're excited to give you some tools for that insight. So next thing I want to know is connecting the chat box. This is really important. We want to hear your questions. There's so many uses for oils, and we just want to be sure we speak to you and not just about whatever that doesn't apply to you. So please let us know any questions that come up during the class. But right now I'm going to ask you, if you haven't already, put your who you are and where you're joining from. Also, I want you to put, if you're here for the first time learning about the top 10 doTERRA medicinal grade essential oils, not just grocery store oils, but not oils you just get in a little shop, but like these types of actual medicinal oils. If you're here for the first time, put a 1 in the chat box. And then if you're here for, not the first time, but you're still on that learning curve, tell us where you're at on that learning curve. I would love to see our audience and kind of know how we can help you. The next thing, if those of you that are a 2, 3, or 4, I would love for you to share with us anytime we're talking about an oil that you've had an experience with. We're going to ask you to share and help, because your experiences will speak so much more than just us telling you what an oil does. I learn from you every time too. So this is our class. What is an essential oil? The top 10, how to use them, and how to get started. So that's really all we're going to talk about today. These are the top 10 you're going to see that we will discuss from doTERRA. And on the left side here, you see these are plant oils that come from a single plant like lemon. And over here are blends. And these blends mean that combined, they're even more powerful. For example, a digestive blend, which obviously there's a lot of herbs that help us with digestion. When you combine it, it's just the most incredible solution for your stomach. So Marty, I'll have Marty kind of go into this slide real quick for us as well.
Yeah, and I just absolutely love lavender. But first, before we talk a little bit about lavender, so you might be wondering, what are essential oils? So essential oils is really from plants. It is the seeds, the barks, the stems, the root, as you can read there, the petals, the leaf. And actually, if you take that leaf and you squish it between your hands, or the peel of an orange, and that sap that's on your hand, that is the essential oil. They actually say it's the blood of the plant. And these are the consecrated aromatic molecules that we get to use to help us against the environment as well. Now, if we are looking at lavender, which is the number 1 on the list, and this is called the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. Now, literally, I don't know what people do without lavender if they don't have dōTERRA lavender in their home, because this is an oil that I use absolutely every single day, from treating or assisting when there's an insect bite to hay fever. I use it in our blend for sinuses with peppermint, lemon, lavender. That is your natural allergics, right? That it's such a powerful oil. But it's also an oil that I put in my diffuser every single night. It helps me to sleep. I like to rub it on my jaw as well, because it also helps. If you somebody who cleanses on who like bites and growls and your teeth, you can definitely put the lavender right on your jawline. But there is nothing as powerful as using lavender for a scrape, a wound. I would love to see in a chat box, what is your favorite way to use lavender? I have so many different ways. I cannot imagine not having lavender in my home.
Yeah, I just made some tea yesterday, and I touched the teapot and it burned, and I just immediately put lavender on it and the burn was gone. So definitely a good one to have on hand, like a Swiss Army knife. So let's talk about the 3 ways you use essential oils. And we're going to do this with a demonstration of peppermint essential oil. So for those of you who use peppermint, please tell me your favorite use for peppermint. I'm going to do a little demonstration, which is going to feel so good for myself right now, because I'm fighting a little bit of a cough here. So peppermint, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is about equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So you can see these are very concentrate. You don't need to use a lot. This bottle will last a long time. But there are 3 ways that we apply oils, and we're going to go more into detail so that you know how to use them. But we have aromatic, topical, and internal. So if you have a peppermint bottle, go ahead and take a drop, or any bottle of oil that you want. Put it in your hand, rub your hands together. So the first one is aromatic. So go ahead and inhale from your hands in through your nose. And so if you haven't ordered your peppermint and you're going to, get it this next week or something, this is the first thing I want you to do anyway when you open your bottle of oils. Inhale it. That's going to clear respiratory airways. It just goes right to your brain. It's also going to focus on mood. It's going to boost mood. Menthol, which is inside of peppermint, helps with serotonin levels. It's going to produce mental clarity, reduce brain fog. It's like a really good go-to in the morning. Next is going to be topical. So take your hands that still have peppermint on them, obviously, and rub them on the back of your neck. And this is going to release muscle tension. It's going to get right into the brain to help with headaches. This is an excellent way for frozen shoulder or anything going on, the tightness, neck tension. I want to go back to aromatic because I forgot my favorite one. In aromatic, I want you to cup your hand like this and inhale it so it goes into your lungs. Oh, that's what I needed that. It might make me cough, but when you inhale through your nose, it travels through this part of your respiratory system. When you do it this way, it goes through your lungs. So just a great way. So that's aromatic, topical. Lastly, go ahead and take your thumb in your palate and put it in your palate, and then and you're going to get just a little in your mouth, and that's going to help also to the brain, but it's also going to help with stomach, freshen breath. So you can see all the uses for peppermint. You can do all 3 ways. And so that is oil number 2. That's a must-have on your list. And please put in the chat box your ways. Val, thank you for sharing. And lethal, yes, totally cooling, helps with a headache. Headache, hot flash or fever. So just great ways to use the peppermint.
And then, of course, if we are looking at essential oils, many times the question is asked, can I just go and buy this peppermint oil on the shelf? And if you have ever walked into a store and you've bought an oil or you haven't yet, I really want to encourage you, go and pick up that oil. There's such a huge difference in essential oils. Unfortunately, essential oils is not governed by nobody. So that means that essential oils can say pure or organic, and they only have to have 5% essential oil in it, and the rest can actually be filled with all synthetic fillers. Now, dōTERRA, which means gift of the earth, said that's not the oil that they want to bring to the market. They wanted to bring a certified peer-tested, great essential oil that you and I can trust. So I'd love you to, for you to watch this short little video. It's going to show you what makes this a medical quality essential oil.
Essential oils are everywhere. You see them for sale online, in social media, on Amazon, even the grocery store shelf. But you have to ask yourself, was it ethically and sustainably sourced? And are they pure and free of adulterations? With the increased popularity of essential oils, too many companies, big and small, are in the dark as to where their oils are coming from. Some even intentionally take advantage of farmers and distillers while cutting corners and padding profits. They advertise their products as 100% pure when they truly have no visibility into who is producing the oils or how it's being done. They did, however, wrap it in a pretty label and bought some Google ad space. It's easy for a consumer to get lost in this growing marketplace. Since 2008, dōTERRA has sold more than 187 million bottles of essential oils to nearly 9.8 million customers worldwide. They trust dōTERRA because we only source the very best essential oils in the world. Since many plants grown for essential oils thrive in developing countries, dōTERRA is committed to making sure the lives of each farmer, harvester, and distiller are better because of our partnership. We call this co-impact sourcing. Positive impact for everyone along the entire supply chain. Purest essential oils for you. Our co-impact sourcing commitment is to 1, directly involved at the source. Through this, we know the people and processes involved. 2, ensuring positive social impact, including job creation, fair labor conditions, and even community development projects. And 3, environmental stewardship and sustainability. You get the highest quality and most effective essential oils, along with the knowledge that your purchase protects growers and distillers from being cheated by middlemen and large corporations. When you purchase a dōTERRA essential oil, you can be a conscious consumer and know you are getting oils that are not only traceable, but are proven and tested to work for you and those you care about. To learn more about co-impact sourcing and our sourcing guiding principles, and to hear the stories from farmers and distillers across the globe, visit sourcetoyou.com. dōTERRA, pursue what's pure.
So when I got started with dōTERRA, and I know Dr. Danelle, I'm sure you'll feel the same. This wasn't something necessarily that I looked at, how these oils are sourced, the impact that these oils are making. But now, almost 6 years later, it's one of the things that I love the most about dōTERRA is the way that they are impacting the world. Yes, these oils are there to, to help us and get better. But actually, while we are using these oils, we are impacting families, communities across the world where dōTERRA sources them from. And I love that 49 of the ingredients in the oils are actually sourced out of Africa. So how amazing is that? Eucalyptus in South Africa, there's a couple in South Africa and in the rest of Africa. One of the things that I love the most. How about you?
Yeah, I would agree because it feels like you can support local. I did a humanitarian trip where we source spikenard and wintergreen and turmeric in Nepal, and we got to travel in such impoverished areas, but seeing that our essential oils that we purchase are actually supplying jobs for families, and then we got to help build a school, and we've built medical facilities, and I just think what a win-win situation that we get these medicines, but we also get to have a connection globally with everybody. So, okay, next on our list of oils we're going to talk about. So we're on oil number 3, and we want to talk about how do they work. We got to mute here. Let me hold on. Okay, you got it. Perfect. So there's different ways that the oils, but because they're oily base, they can actually penetrate our cell at the cellular level. So you see, this is like a representation of a cell. It has a bilipid membrane, means a double oily membrane, which protects our cells. But essential oils can actually penetrate in that cell and help our cellular health. Now, if you think, oh, that's nice, but actually cellular health is everything. Our cells grab the food, the nutrients that our stomach breaks down, our intestines break down, and takes it to our brain, takes it to our gallbladder. Like, our cells are basically the workers of our entire body. And so essential oils being that they can help the cells. And in fact, when we get a viral infection, viral infections affect the cells because it goes into the cell. And because essential oils can also penetrate the cell, it can stop a virus from replicating in your cell. So I think that's pretty phenomenal to know that we have something that can keep us on guard, for example, with our immune system. So our immune system is everything. It's housed in the gut, and it is absolutely our life's vitality through our cells and our immune system. So this blend is a blend of several plants that all help with antiviral actions. So kind of a cool story is that this blend was actually found in literature, a similar blend to this from the days of the plague, the bubonic plague. And grave robbers were coming and robbing, the graves of people had died, but they weren't contracting the plague. And so they were arrested, and the king said, I'd let you go if you tell me what you're using. Like, what is it? And they were rubbing these herbs on them before going to the graves and robbing them. So kind of interesting story, but this is a great blend because of the clove, great for a sore throat, great for also a toothache. It helps cleanse bacteria in the mouth. I had a friend that his son had a bacterial infection on his tooth and was going to have to go in for surgery. And it ached, it hurt so bad. He put the On Guard on it. But by the time he went in for the surgery, the dentist was like, the bacteria infection's gone. So I mean, why not? Why would we want a surgery when we have something like this? So this is how essential oils work in general with our body.
So next we are going to look at aromatic, and thank goodness that Dr. Danelle came across my life when I just started with essential oils, because I did really not understand the wonderful benefits of diffusing or even just inhaling essential oils. Now, aromatic is one of the easiest ways for you to use the oils. And if you have a diffuser, it really helps to benefit everybody in your home. And the reasons why we would diffuse is two main reasons. Number one, to support the lungs. If you are inhaling an oil or diffusing an oil like Breathe or peppermint that we did in the beginning, this is going to really help support your lungs. And because those air molecules go all over the air, and as you inhale them, you actually have the benefit. But one of my favorite things about using essential oils aromatically is to support the brain, which then, of course, helps with emotions. Now, if you hold your nose right here, this is your olfactory nerve. Nerve. So, and when we inhale, it goes right through the olfactory nerve to your limbic system, which controls the emotions. So this is a great way to help somebody. I do this when my children are studying for exams or when they're stressed out, or even when you are just overwhelmed and feeling very stressed out. Putting the right essential oils in your diffuser is going to be the best way to help yourself and everybody around you. Now, before I do a big speech or anything like that, I like to use oils like Adaptive or Bergamot or Citrus Bliss, or even lavender. Lavender a little bit sparingly because it might make me fall asleep. But I inhale it, and it really is one of the best ways to help not only myself, but also my children. Now, I want to quickly share the story of Breathe. For those of you who may be new in the class, I used to have an inhaler with me all the time because my lungs was really not in a healthy state. And when I learned about the aromatic part, because I was using Breathe topically. Breathe is a combination of oils, eucalyptus, peppermint, laurel leaf, all of these oils that are really great for respiratory. And I started to use this oil to support my lungs, but specifically when I switched over to inhaling it and really doing this for like a minute at a time, I started to see a massive improvement in my lungs. So much so that I was using my inhaler less and less. And for most of you on here already know that I haven't used my inhaler for more than 5.5 years. I mean, this morning we went to the gym. It was -4, feels like -8. It was ice cold. And that is the time that I used to really struggle with my lungs. And I had no issue with my lungs, and it's incredible. And then, of course, I call this still my wedding saver. This is the anti-snoring oil. You cannot go without this oil.
I love that. So when you get your oils, if you have them, like Marty said, set up your diffuser at night with Breathe and then put some drops of lavender in there. That's a great way to sleep. And then Marty mentioned in the daytime, you can do Breathe and put some drops of a citrus oil, whether it's lemon from your kit or there's some other citrus blends that we're going to talk about today too. And the citruses are really good, like she said, for the brain. This is a mood uplifter, helps brighten, helps focus, all those types of things. So thank you, Marty. It was awesome. I love your story of the asthma. It's just so relatable. Okay, so we're going to go on to topical and oils 5 and 6 here. We're getting halfway through the top 10 oils. So topical, think about topical use for anything you just want to treat locally. So aromatic, you're going to think about lungs, respiratory, right? And brain. Those are the two reasons. Topical is going to be like for deep blue, if I have like an ache, a joint that aches, a muscle that aches, deep blue is a blend of plants, all to help reduce inflammation and have what's called analgesic properties that helps with pain. It's like an anti-pain is what analgesic means. So going to give you deep tissue relief, reduce sore and tight muscles, menstrual cramps, muscle cramps. So this is a great one. If you have your deep blue and you just want to experiment with it, I would just put a little bit like on your calf, because calf muscles tend to get pretty tight, or your neck muscles. And just you can get a real good sense of how good that is for your body. Okay, number 6, this is tea tree oil. Now, I will say this is a daily oil for me. I really don't go a day without using it. Tea tree has a lot of uses. One of them is clear blemishes on your skin. So anytime you have like something come up, just put a little bit of tea tree and it will take it away. A zit, pimple, anything like that. Any wounds, any cuts, scratches. Lavender will help soothe an itch and a scratch, but tea tree will help disinfect. So think of it that way. So that's what I love tea tree for. I use it daily underarms, and so I put it on before I put my deodorant on, and it's excellent. It's a natural anti-deodorizer. So bottom of the feet, especially for smelly boys, or hiking, or if you're doing something, the gym, tea tree oil. You could even just put some on a cotton ball and put it in your shoes after the gym. It helps sanitize your shoes. Isn't that cool? I just think there's so many neat uses. So I want to see in the chat box what you guys use deep blue and tea tree for. So please share some other uses, because obviously there's a lot more than what we've just shared. And then lastly, two things here. You see that some littles, okay, people with sensitive skin like littles, you're going to want to use a dilution. So these oils, as Marty talked about before, they're pure. doTERRA is saying pure, and they are pure. They're actually not diluted, which gives you get what you pay for, which I love, because you're getting the full effect of a medicine. So if you have a little that has sensitive skin, you're going to want to dilute it with something like a fractionated coconut oil. Now, what that means is they've taken out the fatty lipids of coconut oil. Fatty lipids will block the absorption of the essential oils. That's why you want to use something a little like a thinner oil. Olive oil is great also. Almond oil, jojoba oil, okay, grapeseed oil. Those are thinner oils. And when you do that, it does not dilute the potency. It helps you spread it further, and it actually helps it so it's not so tingly on a sensitive skin. So that's one thing. The second thing about topical, the bottom of the feet, this is a go-to place for most of your oils because it absorbs right into all of the nerve endings and points in your feet, as well as all of these acupressure from Chinese reflexology. So you've got your brain point on the big toe, your intestines, your lungs, and your heart. So just an excellent way. Before you put your shoes on in the day, tea tree is one that I do on the bottom of my feet. Lavender, I put at night on the bottom of my feet. On Guard that we talked about, that's good for sore throats. You can put a drop for your throat, but also on the bottom of your feet. Okay, so that's just some ways, if you're taking some notes here, how to use your oils. I have a daily on the bottom of my feet regimen, morning and night, that I love to do. So there's oils 5 and 6, and Marty's going to explain 7 and 8 for us.
And this is another favorite of mine. I have too many favorites. In the beginning, we all used to laugh when we said, and this is another favorite, and this is, but by now we realize that all of these oils play such a wonderful role in taking care of your health. And if you've ever attended any of our classes and specifically listened to Dr. Donnell as a psychologist, she will tell you that gut health is one of the most important things, because what does your gut influence? What does it have an effect on? Absolutely everything. It starts in the gut. Many times skin issues, emotions is many times linked to your gut health. And there are so many different things. So having a healthy gut is one of the most important things that you can look at. And these two oils that you see on the right-hand side is absolutely brilliant to help you with that daily routine. Now, if you are looking at the lemon essential oil, so lemon is something that I drink every single day in my water bottle. I have lemon. I do, change with different citrus oils, but lemon is really great for helping assisting with acid. It really neutralizes the acid. So this is why it's very good for gout. But it also is a light detox of the body. So it helps get rid of all the toxins. It breaks down plastics, which all of us are getting into our bodies by the containers that we use to put our food in, even the fish that we eat. So lemon is such a small little thing that you can add, but it's going to be a massive thing for your health. And it really just helps to flush out all of those toxins. Now, you can drink anything from 2 to how many drops in your water bottle, but a couple times during the day. So I would say, do not just think I can only have my 2 drops. Put it in your water every time that you drink water. Very important. It has to be steel or glass. Do not put it in plastic, because otherwise you're just going to drink that plastic. And then if we are looking at Zen Jest. Now, I want to quickly mention something. We are talking about using the oils internal. we are specifically referring to doTERRA essential oils. You cannot go and buy oils from them yourself, and you'll see that you're not allowed. You cannot actually use these oils internal. But with doTERRA, not only do they say you can, they actually recommend that you do when you can, because these oils have been tested and are safe for internal use. Now, Zengest or Digest Zen as in America, but this is exactly the same oil, is our #1 oil for gut health. And it's a combination of oils like peppermint, fennel, aniseed, and ginger. All of the things that we all know is really good for gut health, right? And this incredible oil works for constipation, bloatedness, cramps, also for an overactive stomach when you've got diarrhea. So it's incredible for me that this very same oil works for both sides of the spectrum. And it is because, as you saw in the beginning, it goes onto a cellular level and it actually helps the body to balance itself out. So how I use the ingest is a drop underneath my tongue. And then also if you are feeling any discomfort, like literally taking that drop and rubbing it on clockwise on your stomach is going to be incredible. And if you have got like reflux or acid reflux or anything like that, all the way up to your throat, just rub it on and even inhale it. It is just the most amazing. And I know you've got incredible testimony with this as well, Dr. Danelle.
Yeah, both of these oils have helped clear up my gut health. In fact, that's kind of how, before I even brought oils into my practice, I practiced on myself because I had gut health issues for many, many years, where I couldn't go very long without eating. I would crash mentally, like brain fog, as well as energy wise. And though testing didn't reveal anything, I'll just kind of give you an example. If you look at the screen here, one of the major, or actually the core cause of like disease is inflammation. So doctors didn't know how to diagnose that though. And so I had inflammation lining my gut here. So if you see your food goes down to your stomach and then, the liver, everything gets transferred into the, the intestines, and then this is into the colon here. But because everything was lined with inflammation, my nutrients weren't able to take out and get to my brain, which is why I was having brain fog and lack of mental clarity. But taking 3 oils helped me, and I'm going to teach you about the third one in just a second. But lemon helped flush, helped flush all of these intestines, and Zengest helped with my stomach to break everything down and help everything break down in here. So it was a game changer for me. And then lastly, and so I'll just show you what I did. I did Zengest, a drop under my tongue, and I did lemon in my water, just like Marty said, and then frankincense. So frankincense is the best for reducing inflammation. This is one of the plants with the highest anti-inflammatory properties, natural anti-inflammatory properties. That's why when you look at research, it's so good on, brain health, memory protection. A lot of it is the secondary benefit because it reduces the inflammation that's blocking your memory cells. So I did a drop of frankincense under my tongue morning and night, and I still to this day use it, and I use it around my skin for aging as well as scars. It helped reduce my chickenpox scars, which was really exciting. Never thought I'd have something to reduce my scarring, and I did. That was a side benefit. And Marty has shared her story before on these calls that it actually helped improve her eyesight. She used to wear glasses on these calls to see the screen. Now she doesn't need to. So yeah, and lots of benefits of frankincense. So this is one I use topical and internally, probably more than anything. I'd love to see how you guys are using frankincense as well. I'll just share one last that kind of gives you an idea of why it's so effective. I've worked with kids with autism. Frankincense is phenomenal on their brain and absolutely helps with the pathways that are blocking their ability to do some normal functioning. And I've seen kiddos that couldn't dress themselves be able to like function and dress themselves, which is really cool. Like that's at 8 years old that couldn't dress themselves. So this is our oil number 9, and then we're going to go into oil number 10. Marty, do you want to, or do you want me just to kind of finish up? Go ahead. Okay. Because we're gonna watch a little video, so I'll just on this, but oregano. This is definitely last but not least. It is a powerhouse for anything bacterial and viral in your body. You can see the list here. It just never underestimate the power of oregano. And now we're gonna watch a little video, and I'd love for you to share if you've used oregano, how it's helped you. But in this video, he's going to talk about 2 oils that work in conjunction to help our bacteria. One is Melaleuca, that is tea tree. I just want to make sure you know, tea tree is like the nickname. Melaleuca is the actual plant name. And so he refers to it as Melaleuca in this video. There might be a little commercial, so
For
hold on
anyone
a
struggling
second.
with ear ringing, do not drink water. You may not know this, but the biological reason why
bacteria have the ability to change their genetic makeup over time for their own self-preservation. Bacteria have their own defensive mechanism. They produce something called a peptidoglycan layer. It's the equivalent of an M&M shell that's protecting the chocolate on the inside. Now, one of the other elements the bacteria are very, very good at making, and that is something called a biofilm. Biofilm is its own very goopy, slimy mess that it covers itself in. So what's now starting to happen is we are finding that once very useful antibacterial medications are no longer effective at all. What that means for us, we have to use stronger antibacterial medications. We have to use more potent antibacterial medications. That comes at a cost to our own bodies. Melaleuca has the ability to come in and start to modify that sludge and remove it so that the oregano can get to the bacteria. And in oregano, there's a product called carvacrol. Carvacrol will bind to that peptidoglycan and it punctures a little hole in there. Once that hole opens, you start to get a passing of ions back and forth. What that does to the bacteria is it allows it to lyse. It means burst open. And we've now accomplished something very dramatic, and that is by doing nothing more than using 2 simple little plant-based essential oils, you have created a very effective antibacterial solution.
Okay, so I want to just summarize. I think that video says it really well, but did you see how the oils, it says that it helps the oil, it helps the carvacrol, helps to puncture, and that allows a passing of ions, which then helps to reduce the bacteria. So Marty kind of touched on this. They're very adaptogenic, essential oils are. They can adapt to what our body needs. They aren't necessarily doing the mechanism other than they're helping the body heal itself and do its own mechanisms. And I think that's fascinating that nature has this ability. And so there you go. That's the top 10 oils that are a must-have for your home, and you can see why. You can see why this is such a good start, and then you can start adding to your little collection. But each one of these gives you so much use to them. I'm very excited for you guys to get started. So I'm going to have Marty talk a little bit about how we get started, and then we'll just show you some promotions, and that will wrap up.
Yeah, and yeah, again, thank you everybody for asking all your questions and just sharing as well, because it really does help to see how these oils are changing so many other lives. Now, there was a couple of people who asked how much is, Breathe oil, and yes, for sure, you can actually buy just one oil. You don't have to buy a kit. You don't have to do any of that, but getting these oils at wholesale price is the best way to actually get the oils, which is 25% below retail. And how to get that is to have your own wholesale account. Now, to have your own wholesale account, you can get started with either, choosing one of our kits, and I'll get into that now, or you can actually make up your own kit, which is something that you can decide and say, these are the specific oils that I need. And how you're going to find that out is when you sit and talk to the person that invited you to this class to help you decide what are the best oils for you. Now, specifically, tonight we were talking about our top 10 oils, which is really making over your medicine cabinet. It covers so many of the things that happens in your homes, and it covers about, I would say, 80% of your everyday usage. Now, if we are looking at the next page at your home essentials kit and your family essentials kit, these are all of the top 10 oils that Dr. Danelle and myself just spoke about. The only difference between these two kits, the home essentials kit and your family essentials kit, is the size of the bottle. Your home essentials has got a 15 ml bottle that has got 250 drops, and your family essentials kit has got a 5 ml that has got 85 drops in there. And the price difference between them is about 1,700 Rand. So your home essentials on the left-hand side, that's the one with the top 10 oils, the biggest oils. If you have to buy that separately, and this is wholesale, it isn't even retail. If you have to buy this wholesale, it would actually cost you more than 7,500 Rand. But when you buy it in a kit, you are going to save, and you're going to pay only 4,950 Rand. And then it includes that beautiful petal diffuser that you see there. And then you will also be getting for free a citrus bliss oil worth 450 Rand with your kit. Now, the right-hand side is the family essentials. It's exactly the same oils. The only difference, it's 5 ml. So the price difference is about 1,700 Rand. So you can work that out for yourself. With the home essentials, it's not 3 times the amount, but 3 times the amount of oils. But the best would really be to just talk to the person that invited you. Because if you have to ask any of us, and I'll ask that in the chat box, if you can get started again today, what would you choose? If you would choose the top 10, I want you to put a 1 in there. Just because we know that this really covers so much what happens in your home. But again, speak to the person that invited you. Now, we have incredible specials this month and every single month. And I'm very, very excited for Dr. Danelle maybe to talk about 2 things quickly. Maybe we can just mention when we have our incredible loyalty reward program, where you can get points on every purchase that you make and free oils. It is frankincense touch this month. Can you imagine that, Dr. Danelle?
I know that's a good one to have. That, I mean, that's a lot. I know it's a lot of money in US dollars, so that's great. It's free. So, okay, I'll talk a little bit about now for those of you who are just getting started, you're going to get the Citrus Bliss for free, but also bergamot, if you wanted to add on another oil, bergamot is 15% off. I'll go into the uses of bergamot. And then for those of you who maybe have already ordered, but you're looking at, reordering, you can order whatever you want and whatever amount you want. But dōTERRA does have this product of the month. It's like a free subscription where you get a free product each month. So talk to the person who helped you get started and ask them how you can get the free product. This month is frankincense roller, which means it's diluted and ready just to roll on. I use these rollers with my animals because they're just already for sensitive skin. And then I'll go into bergamot. I just wasn't sure what this, oh, okay. I just wanted to see what my next slide was. Okay, so in the beginning, I told you that I did my research on post-traumatic stress disorder. So if you have already ordered oils, you can also order the bergamot on your loyalty reward, or you can add it to your initial cart. This is hands down one of my favorite. It became one of my favorite citruses after looking at, a year's worth of research on it. But when I was looking at PTSD, there are so many symptoms. I actually chose it. Well, I'm from San Diego and we have a lot of military, and PTSD is a huge, diagnosis, but it has so many symptoms, and I chose it because of that. And I said, I have got to find an oil that will help the majority of those things. That's hard, but I had took up the challenge. And when you look at like the core of what is going on in PTSD, it's the HPA axis. It's a stress cycle in the HPA axis, which is your hypothalamus, your pituitary, and then your adrenal glands on your kidneys. They excrete a whole bunch of stress hormones, cortisol as one of those that you're familiar with. And then that goes through the whole body. That is the core. So if we look at, okay, well, this is the core creating all these other symptoms: difficulty focus, difficulty sleeping, reactivity, negative mood. So when I looked at that, bergamot actually had the most research and its individual components that helped all of those symptoms. So really, really cool. Bergamot has, it's kind of like, excuse me, lavender and like a citrus mixed combined, like having a baby and they made bergamot. So it has the best worlds of your lavender and your citruses. So I'll just share a couple of the stories to give you an idea. I had one gal who was in the Navy, and she had been struggling with PTSD for a long time after being assaulted. And she would have a lot of, so she was in the symptom category that was heavy for her. There's 4 symptom categories of PTSD. She was in the one that's called negative mood. And so where she would just get like spiral down in her thinking. She noted that when using bergamot, just inhaling, they just inhaled, that's all I had my research participants do. She noticed that through inhalation, it helped stop her ruminations. So ruminations like negative thinking. It stopped her negative thinking. She said it didn't take away, the pain that was there, but I was able to process it. So I thought that was really cool. And she said I was able to cry, but I felt safe versus just going spiraling down where it's really difficult to get out of. So bergamot is great for boosting mood. Another that kind of surprised me, as I wasn't sure, but I had a lot of people with PTSD have trouble sleeping. And because they have a lot of nightmares, but also just their brain and the cortisol makes it so they wake up every couple hours. Quite a few wrote that it actually helped them sleep. And one guy specifically said it helped him sleep so much through the night that he stopped waking up every couple of hours. That was a huge change. So you can see bergamot is, I love that they're giving it 15% off this month because it is a must have. It's kind of one of those, if I have anything going on emotionally, bergamot will most likely resolve that issue. So I'm excited for you guys to try that on a special this month. Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Dr. Danelle, just for that? So normally I don't diffuse citrus just because I'm afraid it's going to keep me awake. But I love your thing because I'm going to definitely put this in my diffuser tonight and for my boys. Would you recommend combining that then with a lavender or a serenity? What would you say?
I would say in a diffuser, it's a good place to combine. So if it were me, I would probably combine bergamot with serenity.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to
at
try
night,
that tonight.
and then during the day, bergamot with peppermint. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Great. Well, to wrap up, you guys, been such a great hour to be on with you. I'm just going to show you there's 3 ways you can get involved with doTERRA. Number 1 would be living the wellness lifestyle that we get to with the essential oils. 2 is sharing if you've thought of someone who maybe wasn't on the call tonight and you think they might gain some solutions, have them come to the call next week and you can just share and invite them. You can also have them talk to the person who invited you. And doTERRA does compensate you. You get free products for referrals. And then lastly is doTERRA does have an incredible business opportunity that they have opened up in South Africa that allow people to learn about the products and then also empower others with essential oils in their homes. And then you get to create your own health and wellness business. So talk to the person who invited you if this sounds like a good fit for you, or if you want to learn more. Marty and I and others, we teach this a business overview class on Thursdays at 7 p.m. So I just going to ask Marty if you have somebody or if somebody can share maybe one thing that the oils have helped them. I don't know if you had somebody already. If not, I can call in.
I didn't ask somebody specifically. I wasn't sure whose cameras is on, but yeah, I'm sure Liesel
Yeah.
or anybody that you want to is always ready
Yeah,
to share.
maybe Val, do you mind just sharing? I know you've been using the oils for a little bit. Just one oil that's really empowered you. We'd love to hear because I know Marty and I've been talking a lot, so we'd love to hear from somebody.
Well, it's very difficult to say which is my favorite. I love them all, and really for all their different uses. So, I'll use lavender to relax, and I have that in going and just making the room calm. I just got the bergamot on that special, and I'm just loving it. I've actually got 2 bottles. And I'm so excited with that. I've also now got that going. Well, I had it going a little while ago. I also, with the flume, I use those for products and phenomenal. Susan mentioned it to me some time ago, and today I thought I'm going to do it. So this morning I made up my flume, and I had the first one, and I thought, well, that wasn't too bad. It went down quite well. And at lunchtime, I had my next one, and this evening, I'm going to have my 3rd one. But honest to goodness, I'm feeling so much better. So, you know what? They're all my favorite. Every single one of those oils is my favorite.
Yeah, I would agree. Thank you for sharing, Val, and kind of being on the spot there. I appreciate it. It's fun to hear. And so for those of you who may be not sure, the flume is a combination of oils that basically help with flu symptoms. So excellent for this time of year when it's winter over there. So thank you so much, you guys. It was great to see you, great to be on with you. I hope that you've been able to take away some really good nuggets to start using your oils or get started with your oils. Join us next week and we'll go over all of this again. So thank you and have a good evening.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Donnell.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.